first, we bring you a GB News exclusive. Audio obtained by GB News has revealed that radical preacher Anjem Choudary's bombshell demands of Prince Harry. Choudary is facing life in prison after being convicted on Tuesday of leading a group banned under UK terror laws. But it turns out Prince Harry's boast that he killed 25 Taliban fighters in his memoir Spare clearly rubbed the vile Islamist up the wrong way. So, here it is. Let's listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, basically in Islam there are various punishments. I don't want to go through the whole breakdown, but one of them is called blood money, which in Arabic is diya, D-I-Y-Y-A-H, diya. And the diya is for everything. I mean, if someone gouges out an eye, then the compensation for that's 50 camels. For one finger, it's 10 camels. And if you take someone's life, then there's a narration of the Prophet. He said that's 100 camels, of which 40 are pregnant. And basically, you can take the monetary value. So I had a look online. One camel is nowadays $5,000. So the compensation for that would be, that times 100. So that makes it 50,000. Makes it $500,000, doesn't it? So it's $500,000. So obviously that being the case, and that's obviously up to the family. So what happens is that if someone kills someone intentionally, then the family of the deceased, meaning his relatives, they can decide either to opt for capital punishment, meaning reciprocation, or to take the monetary value, or take the blood money. But I think anyway, in Harry's case, most probably, if it came to a court, because of the nature of his crime, which is just shooting indiscriminately at people, probably he would probably face the death penalty under the Sharia, under Sharia court. But in general, if the Taliban are asking for compensation, then the compensation would be the equivalent of that 100 camels, and of which 40 are pregnant, which is, as I say, $500,000. So for 25 people, it would be $12.5 million. And and I was just thinking that, I mean, all things considered, especially post American withdrawal from Afghanistan, they are needy for the money at the moment. I mean, the country is in crisis over there economically. I mean, he's making a fortune from this book, isn't it? I mean, it's more popular than Harry Potter and his nemesis. But anyway, so I mean, he can afford that, can't he? He can afford to pay that because he's going to make far in excess of that, and he's making it on the back of saying he's killed all these Afghans as well, all these Muslims in Afghanistan. So I think it's only right that the proceeds of this book are put to good use, which is to pay reparations for the British crimes in Afghanistan.
So, well, I now welcome the journalist who was on the other end of that extraordinary call with Anjem Choudary. It's Dominic Lemansky. Dominic, thank you very much. Just to summarise a bit there, he's basically said that Prince Harry under Sharia law would probably face the death penalty, but he might be able to get away with it if he pays $12.5 million for slaughtering a few Taliban fighters, and it's the least he can do because actually the Taliban need the money and he's making loads of money off his book, isn't he? Dominic, look, you've known Choudary for quite a long time, I believe, haven't you? Can you just explain to us the circumstances behind that interaction?
It's been about 18 years. I think I met him first at a protest, ironically, outside the Old Bailey. I suppose, and since then it's been, a regular stream of, meets over the years. Whenever he's been in the news or there's been a topic which he has got some link to, and as the years went by, he would introduce me to his followers, his disciples, and I always thought it was useful to keep in contact because these people ended up going and fighting for ISIS.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the web of terror Anjem Choudary has managed to kind of embed himself in is absolutely astonishing, isn't it? So it's fair to say then that Anjem Choudary isn't a massive fan of Prince Harry, I take it. And did it come as a shock to you to find out that, Anjem is now facing life for, potentially more terror offences?
It does in a way. It feels a bit surreal because I've known this person for nearly 20 years. I've been a journalist for, I think, 22. So I've known him nearly the whole time. I used to share a coffee with him. We were quite amicable. Despite his sort of public persona, he was never threatening towards me. He's charismatic. He can be strangely, he can be strangely quite entertaining. But you always know there's that edge with him, that it's a transactional relationship. He obviously he did want the attention, and he did want to have his activities covered. But I didn't think that the authorities would make a second case against him stick. I'm still surprised, really.
I think another aspect to this is interesting. Is he goes, under a Sharia court, Prince Harry would probably face the death penalty. I do believe that under a Sharia court, actually quite a few people will probably end up facing the death penalty for relatively minor things. But that said, he did also front up a group, did he, I think, Sharia for UK, and had quite a few disciples, as you called them, there. So he did conceivably, anyway, on paper, actually want us to operate a Sharia court. And quite concerningly, I think for us, there were a lot of people in Britain who also wanted that.
I think the worrying thing with Choudary was that he wasn't ever going to go and fight for ISIS himself or, pick up arms. But he was such a charismatic personality that he could encourage other people to go and effectively, do his dirty work. I would meet someone that he would introduce me to in Walthamstow, and I'd get picked up at Walthamstow station in a Mercedes and driven to an area. They wanted to show me something for a story. Didn't think much of it, and years later, the guy turns out to have become Jihadi Sid, one of ISIS's executioners. He was his real name Siddhartha Dar. His Muslim name that he took when he converted to Islam from Hinduism was Abu Ramaisa. And after he was filmed doing a propaganda video for ISIS, he was given the nickname Jihadi Sid.
I mean,
he picked me up in a car at Walthamstow station about 12 years ago for a story.
I mean, it is just absolutely bonkers, isn't it? Dominic, can I just say a massive thank you for, getting us this big exclusive, actually, really, to be honest with you. Anjem Choudary's comments on Prince Harry there. It's such a fascinating discussion off the back. I would really like to chat to you again soon, actually, possibly at more length about Anjem Choudary and some of the experiences that you've had with him and others. Dominic, thank you very much. Take care. That was journalist Dominic Lemansky there.